being an independent woman is directly contradicting to finding a provider. Hi everyone, I am live. We are going to be filming today my YouTube video, so thank you guys for joining. If you don't know who I am, my name is May Kalinu. I'm a spoiled girl dating coach for people of color. Thank you guys all for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But today we're going to be talking about going from being an independent woman to becoming a spoiled girl. Everybody knows being an independent woman, it was basically the last decade's conversation for being confident as a woman is like, be an independent woman, be a boss babe, be empowering, be an entrepreneur, go into the workforce and tackle it full force. So that kind of like dialogue has really created for women today a sense of independence to a point where men, they don't feel like they're needed anymore. Far independent to a point that they are not, women are so that men feel like we don't need them. And I don't blame them, because we've created this situation where they feel like that. And I can totally get why men feel like they have no place in this dating regime now that we've made women so independent to the point where they have completely, like cut off men completely. And they think that every man out there is, a bad guy. They're cheaters, they're liars, but that's not true. Not every man out there is actually a liar or a cheater. They can be, but being so independent creates a situation where, the woman doesn't need me, they don't need to provide, I don't need to provide for them. So being an independent woman is directly contradictory to being an independent woman is directly contradicting to finding a provider. So if you want to be an independent woman, that's fine. More power to you. But when you're giving off this sense of like, I don't need no man, I'm independent, like I can do everything on my own, well then yeah, guys aren't going to want to be with you. Men are not going to be attracted to that because you don't need them. They don't feel needed. They don't feel like you can, they don't feel like they can provide anything in your life. So the only thing that they provide is less than the bare minimum. So they don't even show up for dates. They don't even plan dates. They don't even get you flowers. They don't do this. They don't do that. Because guess what? You're so independent. You've taught people that you are so independent these days that you don't need no man, and no man's going to come after you because you've sent that out into the universe. So we have to rewire some of this. And although being an independent woman has some good characteristics, some good things that came out of it, I'm not saying being an independent woman is completely bad, especially when you're in your younger 20s. Being an independent woman is amazing. But when you're starting to want to build a life with a partner, being independent is contradictory to that, right? Independent, you're alone, independent by yourself, versus a partnership, right? That's directly two different things. Independent versus being a partnership. It's two completely dialogues that do not mesh very well at all. So when you're moving into this like later stage of your dating, your mid-20s, your late 20s, you are no longer thinking you're independent. You actually want a partner in your life to share things with. But at this point, you feel like you don't know how to show men that you are open and receiving, because you've blocked that out for so long, especially being a successful woman, for example. You've worked a long time in the workforce. You've done your duties in a masculine dominated like industry, whatever it is, finance, or just being in a workforce with men around. You've had to grow in your masculine energy for you to be successful. And you were successful at that. You were great. You did amazing. You're ambitious. You've are successful, you made a name for yourself, you're climbing up the ranks at your corporate ladder, but now translating into your dating life, you feel like you're not as wanted, or you're not as, you're not attracting the right person, and you don't feel attractive because you're not attracting the right person. Not that you're not attractive, but if you're not attracting the right person with your attraction, like with the things that you have, then you won't feel attractive. Does that make sense? Like, you aren't putting, if the things that you want versus the things that you're trying to do, and those don't line up, you're gonna feel like you're, a failure, which is not true. You're not a failure at all. You're very successful. And we just have to learn to reprogram yourself to think more femininely when you're dating. And that can be hard for ambitious women that I've talked about in the past, because they're so much in their masculine energy. They're so used to being, the first person to talk, to be assertive at the workplace, to communicate your needs, to be pushy, to ask for that raise, to do all those things that will make you successful as a woman in the male-dominated workplace. But now in dating, although, 50-50, like, percentage-wise, like 50% men, 50% women, and you feel like, the men that you're attracting aren't up to your caliber, right? They're not as ambitious as you. They're not as successful as you. They're not as, working on life as the way that you are. They're not keeping up the same routines as you are. There's definitely a lack in, situation. You become more of the mature one, and you end up mommying the person in your partnership because you are more mature and you're this figure that has it all figured out. That's what you give off. You've had it all figured out. You got it going on. You have everything that you need. You provide your house, your luxury gifts. You provide emotional needs to yourself. You have friendships. Then, like, what can a man provide for you? If you're showing off all these things, what can a man provide for you? He doesn't know where he fits into that equation. And so you end up attracting people who cannot provide anything for you. You end up attracting people who cannot provide anything to you, because you can provide everything for yourself. You give off this energy that you can provide everything for yourself. And that comes from, trauma. That could be one of it. That could be from experiences. You just had to, in societal standards, push off everything that's girly, that was dainty, that was anything damsel in distress, because you don't want to be a damsel in distress. You wanted to be an empowered woman, which is totally okay. But when we're dating, if you give off this sense where, I can provide everything I need. I can provide my house, my clothes, my bags, my dinner, everything, drinks, whatever you think that you need, you can provide it to yourself. And the thing that becomes an issue is when you become resentful of it. You become closed off and resentful of being provided for. You're like, no. You do not need to provide for me, because I can provide for myself, and any forward moving advances from providing for me feels like an attack. It feels like you could cheat on me. It feels like, you could do all these things to me because you have control over my life. And that is true in some cases, all right? So be aware of situations where you could be put into a financially abusive situation, and like a abusive relationship. But what you can change from that is that you don't need to be putting up that guard anymore. You don't need to be saying, I'm the only one that can provide for me, because that type of thinking will get you far in the career industry, in your workplace, right? To say, I did this all myself. And you can say that. You can be proud of that. Like, I did this myself. And you can say that. But moving on to you know, this later form in your life where you do want a partnership, you want to say, like, we did that together. Not maybe we built this together, but we as a couple overcame all these challenges and did that together. And that feels even more powerful sometimes than being alone. And so when we become resentful of ourselves, resentful of society, resentful that you ever took the advice of being an independent woman, that is when you can change. You can start to change. You can start to think about the ways in which these things are affecting you. And being an independent woman, you can see that, yes, you are successful in your career, and that has led you very, very far in your career. But it has made you closed off in your relationships. It has led you to become resentful of men. And that's not true. Although that you have trauma in the past that has led you to think this way. Trauma is, I don't know the direct definition, but what I like to call it is that when you start thinking that because of your experience, because of this one thing that had happened to you, that becomes the story or the outcome every single time. So you think if you do something, that's going to be the same outcome. That's trauma. That's trauma. So if you think because somebody cheated on me in the past, that every single person that I date will cheat on me in the future, that's trauma right there, okay? Like, and I want you to, like, think about this to yourself and write it down in the chat if you can, but, like, what are these things that you tell yourself are true because of one time? This happened one time, maybe 2 times, but it's not true, okay? For me, it's the cheating, right? Like, somebody had cheated on me in my past, and I talk about this on my channel, and that is really hard for me to let go and to actually accept that I have trauma, right? And to accept and learn that I have these baggage, right? I have baggage, and that comes with trauma, thinking about how things will repeat itself, even though that's not necessarily true or that's not what's happening. Like, I'm bringing that baggage from my past relationship into the next one. And so some of these things, like being an independent woman, you're like, in the past somebody has used me, so I don't want that to be true anymore, you know? And so write those down. Make sure you know what those relationship traumas are for yourself and realize them, you know, draw awareness to them. And that's really the first situation that you want to do. You want to draw awareness to it. Okay. You want to be aware of the issues that you're driving from your past relationships into your future relationships. Okay. This is what the work is. Okay. This is what the inner work is, and shadow work, all those things. This is what it is. It's learning about your traumas and being accepting of them. And forgiving yourself, forgiving your oppressors or whatever it is, forgiving them. And not because they did that to you, okay? Do never, you know, let that go, but realize that they also have their own traumas too. They have been traumatized in the past, and that's how they are able to traumatize you, because they've been taught that. But to realize to not perpetuate your own trauma. So for example, I've been cheated on in the past, and that's led me to think that everybody is going to cheat on me in the future. And so I'm an independent woman because I do not need no man, because I can take care of everything myself, and I do not need to trust anybody. So do you see how being an independent woman, you don't need no man, it's actually closing you off very, completely. Like, therapeutically, you are not open at all to any relationship that's possible in the future. You're very closed off. You are not open at all to potential man who come to your life to give you that, right? So think about all those ways in which you are replicating that story from your past, okay? Because we want to break the cycle. We're going to break this cycle by first drawing awareness to it. We want to bring awareness to it. And the next way is like, how can we change into a better person? So like, what are the things that we can do to be a better person? How do we react better next time? What can we do next time to be better? So for example, when you're an independent woman, say you show up for your date and just almost like an interview. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the rose. I really appreciate that. So when you're going to start dating and you are an independent woman and you get to the date and they ask you, what do you do? And you go and say, oh, I'm a top seller of my region. I am, I've won so many awards for selling the most at the most time. I've been to so many presidential sales retreats because I am so good at my job. I am a workaholic. I love to work. I make so much money from working that I like to, spend it on vacation, spend it on myself, spend it on fine dining. And you may think that this is like, being confident in your work, right? Like I hear this all the time, like, no, May, I'm confident about my work and I'm not ashamed of it. So I don't want to speak that way. I'm not saying you're not confident. And I am not saying downplay your career accomplishments at all. But if in a dating scenario, if you are boasting about your career and how much money you can make, so many people, I've heard this from many, many high value men. So many people, even high value men, provider men, so many provider men will turn into dusties because they hear that you provide so much. You're telling them on a first date, you're telling them what you can bring to the table, right? And if you're just boasting about your career and saying how much you work and how much money you make from your work, they're going to want your money, If you are, for example, saying all that, but on the flip side, you can say, like, being a spoiled girl, this is what I would say, because most spoiled girls are also ambitious and also very hardworking and make lots of money and come from good families even. But you don't want to like lead with that, right? You don't want to lead with, oh, I have a good family, because then your family's going to provide for them too. They're going to want your family to provide for them too, right? So you have to think about the things that you are saying and the impact that you're having, because obviously we want to say everything that we want, right? Like, this is going to be our partner in the future. We're going to share a relationship with them, but that's like that type of energy where you're bragging about your accomplishments. Like, there's way to say that more modestly. When you're bragging, which has been taught in, this male dominant industry, that's very good. Like, that's what you want in a partner, right? So you're like looking like, I want somebody who will meet me at my level. And if I tell them about my career and how well I've done, they're going to see if they match up or not. That's not necessarily true. People aren't going to see that you guys match up. They're going to see, wow, this woman is so hardworking and loves to work, loves to make money. I can use some of that money. You are actually taking on the provider energy here. You're saying, look what I can provide. I have my work. I have my job. I can provide this for you, and that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is like, yes, you are a top salesperson at your job. Okay. And then you can just say like, where do you work? And you say, oh, I work the sales job. I'm pretty good at it. Be modest, just be like, I would rather spend my time doing my hobbies instead, though. I really like to work, but I actually also like pottery, and I actually really love to dance after work. That's actually my passion. Although work is work, right? That's what I like to say when I'm on the date. They're like, what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh, this is me before. Oh, I work in marketing. I didn't say, oh, I have done marketing PR campaigns for Daniel Boulud, one of the most acclaimed chefs in New York City. I've done, marketing campaigns for Essential Water with Anderson .Paak, getting us on the front page. I'm not talking about the accomplishments I've done. I say it in a way where like, yeah, I work in marketing. Work is work, work is work. I don't like to talk about work on a date. That's for the men. That's a man's job to do. Okay? I don't talk about work. If he wants to talk about work, he talks about work. If I want to talk about work, it's going to be like 2 seconds. Like, hey, Barbara was being really rude at work, and that's it. Like, I talk about the relationships that I have at work, my friends at work. I talk about the people that I hate at work, my boss, the dynamic at work. But I won't go and say like, hey, I'm so good at doing marketing. I'm the best marketer in New York City. I am assigned to, hold on, this just stopped. I am assigned to the top marketing agency, PR agency. I do this and that. I am climbing so far up in the ladder. It's like, so great for me. My career is just skyrocketing through the roof. I'm going to be a director in no time. Like that is not something you want to hear. You're like, oh, wow, this woman is very hardworking. She's going to want to work. Then we're going to build the empire together. Then you get those people. And you're like, oh, we'll work together. Let's work together. And we'll work together, Like, you don't want to say that. You don't want to do that. Of course you want to do that in a situation where it's beneficial for your career, right? Like if you were in a meeting with a man who could potentially bring your career up, nothing dating. Okay, this is like your coworker or an industry person. Like that is when you want to brag and be like, yes, I'm so good at my job. Like I'm so good. I've worked with the best people, I love my job. I couldn't get enough of my job. I'm never leaving my job. Even if I have kids, I don't want to leave. Like don't say that on your date, even if you think that way, right? Like you want to, like there's a way to say it without having to be so much like you're giving off the workaholic vibe. And then you get so many men who are like, yes, let's build together. You're so good at working. Let's build it together. Or what can I do for my marketing for my company, right? Like now you're in a business interview with this guy, and you're trying to build an emotional, like sexy relationship with him. But now you guys are like talking about your work stuff and it becomes like a work meeting. Thank you guys so much. I'm a Cancer cap, actually. So yeah, like I have me in the past, I've been completely this way too. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so good at marketing and I'm so good at this and that. And, that's gotten me to a point where yes, I've gotten the people who want to build an empire with me, except that I'm doing most of the work. I've gotten people who just don't want to provide for me because they see how well off I am. They see how well off my family is. They see how well off I am. And so they feel like they can't provide for me. And that's true. Like if I'm saying like, oh yeah, I come from a good family. I have a good job. Like I live in a house that I pay for myself. Like, what are they going to bring to the table? They have nothing to bring. So then they want to take. Like, you're creating this situation where you're like, this is all I have to bring to the table, right? Like people have said in the past, like, what do you bring to the table? You're like, oh, this, my family, I come from good money, I have a good job. That's not what you bring to the table, babe, okay? That's not what you bring to the table. What you bring to the table is, number one, hello, look how cute I am. Okay, that's what you're going to say. If somebody ever asks you, you're going to be like, I showed up to this date. Okay, this face costs more than this dinner. I'm definitely not paying. Like, the amount of time that I took, that I had to rush back home from work, get my face on, shower, do my hair, okay? Or bring my clothes my date clothes to work, change, get ready in the bathroom of my job to split the bill at the end, okay? Like, you don't want to show that you're like grinding all day in New York City, you know, and then you show up to this date, even worse, in your work outfit, and you're like, oh my God, I've been so busy at work. I don't even have time to date. I'm so busy with work. Nobody's gonna want to date you then. You're too busy with work. You just told them. You're too busy with work. You barely even made it to the date because you made to the date a little bit late or not in like your full, like as you wanted to, and you know it, you know, you didn't show up as yourself, and you're like, oh, I'm so busy with work. I'm late. Like, I'm so busy. This guy is gonna think like, wow, this girl's so busy. I cannot take her on a trip. She's gonna be so busy with work. How are we ever gonna have time to hang out or spend time together or get to know her? I have no idea when I'm going to be able to do that if all you're talking about is, you know, how busy you are with work. Then it's like, how can we spend time together? When you're looking at this man, okay, he's probably at a point in his life where he doesn't need to grind as much as you anymore. Probably, in most cases. Men, when they're starting to date and when they're in a point in their life where they feel like they can provide and give back in dating, they're not grinding anymore. They're not late going anywhere. They're probably getting off early from work already, and they have some type of privilege at their job because they've worked for a while now. And you set up this dynamic where you're like, I'm still grinding. I'm going to grind. I'm going to keep working. Like, I love working, you know, and he's going to see that. And he's going to be like, wow, she loves working. I'm going to help her work some more. I'm going to keep her. She loves to work. I'm going to make her work then because she loves to work. So what is the big deal when you want to, you know, be provided for? They're like, it's such a shock to them because you've been bragging about how much you can provide for yourself. You've been bragging so much about your work and what you can do for work and how much you bring to the table, how much money you bring, and how much you can work that he's like, all right, I'm not going to work then. You know, he's like, I'm just going to work at Starbucks then. He's like, oh, I got fired from my job. I have no implication to like look for a new one. I have no drive, ambition to look for a new one because you got the ambition in this relationship. You got it, babe. You know, he's like, oh, you're the ambitious one in the situation. I'm just going to hang back and like be the chill boyfriend or be like chill, you know? And so you're creating this dynamic where you've bragged so much about your job and your situation, in your home situation, how much you can provide for yourself, that you haven't opened up anything for him to show that he can provide for you, you know? And so alternatively, when you're hanging out, instead is what I've created, like the spoiled girl energy. You want to give off this spoiled girl energy. And I thought for so long that people called me a spoiled girl. Friends, family, close friends, very close friends that I still have, family, guys that I would date, exes, whatever it is, they'd be like, you're so spoiled, you know? And I used to take that as, I would be offended. I would be so offended back in the day if somebody called me spoiled because, no, I've worked for this. Yes, my family did come for money, but I worked we have no connections, right? We have money, we have no connections. I worked for the connection. I worked my ass off to get, you know, put into a big agency life in New York City. I went to network at churches. Like, I worked my ass off to get this job, you know? I'm not spoiled. I worked for it, you know? That's what I would say. And I didn't know why I would be saying that. I was just trying to prove to myself that I did all these things, right? Like, oh yes, I guess I was just trying to prove to myself, that I did do those things. But at a certain point, I was like, why am I saying that? At the end of the day, like when I would show up with my pearls and my hair done and everything, people would be like, oh, like, you look so spoiled. Like, do you want me to get your seat for you, babe? And I'd be like, yes, I do, you know? I'd dress up, look nice, and then friends would be like, oh my God, you look like you want the red carpet rolled out in front of you. And I would be so offended. I'd be like, oh, rude. Like, no, I'm an independent woman. I can do it myself. I can open the car door by myself. I can do it myself, you know? And I would be like, no, I'm not spoiled. I'm an independent woman. I can do everything myself. Like, babe, you're giving off the situation, you're giving off the vibes that, like, you're not spoiled. Like, you don't need anybody. And so people are like, oh, okay, she doesn't need anyone. She doesn't, you know, she doesn't want to be taken care of. She can take care of herself. She doesn't want to be taken care of. She can take care of herself. I don't need her, or she doesn't need me. And the biggest thing with guys, it's like a big ego thing, right? So, like, they like to feel like they have a purpose, like everybody else, right? They want to feel like they can provide something to you. And in our society, we live in a capitalistic, misogynistic society where males are the ones who, you know, get more money more easily, more quickly, have more opportunities to work. They're going to be like, wow, for the first time, like, I don't have to work. And then I can just kind of, like, piggyback off of, like, your stuff. And so if they cannot provide the main societal thing that they're here to provide, they feel useless. They feel like they cannot provide anything for you. And so that's why you're attracting these dusty men. That's why you're attracting men who do not provide. That's why you're attracting caretaker men. It's because they cannot provide money to you. They don't feel like they can provide money for you because you got it all going on. You got the money thing. You got it, like, in the situation. Like, you got it under control. Then a man's going to be like, what can I provide then? What can I provide if you provide all the money? I don't know what to provide anymore, you know? And so you can be like, oh, yeah, you're right. I keep saying that I provide just money. And so what can a man provide? They can only take care of me. They can only care for me now. And so now you're like, oh, I'm so good at my job. I work so much. I have so much money. And the guy's like, oh, I'm not going to work then. I don't have to work. This is great. This is a great situation. For the first time in society, I'm not going to have to work. And so you see all these men giving up their sole responsibility in society to not work, to be next to these women who work for them. And they get to be the caretakers. But unfortunately, they're not that great at it yet. So unless you have somebody, right? I've seen lots of ambitious women end up with caretaker husbands instead of provider husbands because it's very hard to find, you know, a provider man who wants to be with an ambitious woman, but nonetheless is like being two ambitious people in a relationship is very difficult too. That is even more difficult. And so I see a lot of these ambitious women just become in a relationship, I see all these ambitious women start a relationship with these caretaker men because that's just easier. They'll be the ambitious ones. They already make all the money. They're just going to continue on. As long as somebody they come home to, like, cooks, cleans, like, literally the woman's job, cooks, cleans, takes care of the house, takes care of the dogs, and you go to work. And that's fine for some people, but not for me, you know? That's not for me. That works. Not for me. Not for me, okay, babes? And I just feel like, yes, some men can be more of caretakers, but, like, our society, the way that it runs, it just runs this way, okay? Men, they find fulfillment in providing because the situation is that in society, their main goal is money and to provide. Unfortunately, that's just the truth of the matter. That's the way our society is set up, and I have issues with the way that society is set up for women, but unfortunately that's just how it is for men too. And so if you are creating this scenario where they cannot provide money to you, they cannot provide security, safety, shelter for you, then what can they provide? They can't provide anything. And so you're attracting these guys that can provide nothing, right? They don't provide anything. They don't give you anything. They just take. And so that's why you have to create this scenario, be it a little bit, out of your comfort, where you have to ask for help, And so being a spoiled girl, now you can, when I start adopting being a spoiled girl, now I can see what men can provide for me. So when my friends were like, yeah, you're so spoiled. Do you want me to roll out the red carpet for you? Do you want us to do your hair for you? Do you want us to do your makeup for you? You want to get your makeup done all glam? Like, yes, please. When they're joking, I don't care if they're joking. I'm like, yes, roll out the red carpet for me. Close down the restaurant. Get the hair, get the makeup, get the cameras, get everything ready for me. Like, I'm on my way, And accepting that in myself, accepting that from the people around me. Like, my friends end up spoiling me too. My friends will open up a chair for me. We'll grab the chair, we'll grab the door, we'll grab, the carpet, like whatever it is. They will do that for me because I accepted that I'm a spoiled girl now. Like, yes, I do expect my chair to get taken out. So, yeah, let's answer a few questions here real quick. Yeah, what is my opinion on women who are so into the feminist mindset they think being spoiled is bad? And yeah, this is exactly the dogma that I'm talking about. And it can be very, very difficult to navigate that because, yes, like a lot of women see me and they're like, oh my God, horrendous situation on feminism, and like 3 steps back on feminism. And the situation is like, no, we're actually not taking a step back. The reality of it is that when we were feminists, like back 2 or 3 decades ago, like 1 or 2 decades ago, we were not able to work, right? And then now I have the opportunity to work. And not just that, I can be an entrepreneur at home as well, right? And so I think that some of the women are just traumatized from men. They're scared that like men can actually provide something for them. Like they're so traumatized by this whole independent women dogma that they don't even, to be honest, I feel like that kind of cohort is what is inciting some of like the male anger. And it's like, as long as you think that our 2 genders of human society are completely segregated and divided, we will not have any peace within the genders. Like, I just don't think that's healthy at all. Like, the same way I think feminists are, like, not just feminists, but they're, like, spreading misandry. And so, like, there is a line, like I believe I'm a feminist. And yes, like, yeah, being in a hyper independent mindset before you realize true peace for a woman lies within us. And so that's kind of like the whole spoiled girl energy, spoiled girl mentalities. Like, you are, instead of escaping and avoiding situations, like being self-sufficient and being so independent, it becomes avoidant. It becomes avoidant of your needs, of your situation, of everything that you want in life. Exactly. You can live a soft life and you can still be successful in your career if that's what you want. And having a supportive husband is going to get you much farther as well. Just like it does for women. I mean, just like it does for men, it does for women. I've seen so many women get leveled up because of being with their man. Yes, it is super hard for single moms, especially being in the masculine energy, because you are playing the role of the masculine at home. Not even just at work, right? Like you're probably very successful at work too. But at home, you also have to be the dad half the time too. And now it's not just like, oh, when you go to work, you have this masculine energy. Now when you come home, you also have to be the dad for your kid, for your child as well, your children. You have to also be a feminine, nurturing, empathetic mom, but you also have to be the strict, the assertive, the dominant father as well. And so it becomes very hard for single mothers. But the thing is that like single mothers, they're incredible. I was raised by a single mother myself. They are so resilient and so like they are so capable of literally everything in the world. Because you're a single mom, that is like your superpower. Because you have children and you're on your own, that gives you way more confidence, gives you way more, awareness, care, and like being vulnerable, everything that you need to find a man. Because single moms, they're so good at compartmentalizing everything, right? Like when you're at work, I bet you get so stressed out at work, and this is so important to keep the boat afloat for you and your family. But when you get home, I bet you're so sweet and so loving to your children. And that is such a superpower. Like you need to harness that superpower and take it into dating as well. So when you're dating, you need to compartmentalize that too. You're not just the single mom and in your masculine and feminine energy and you work and all this stuff. Like when you're dating, because you're a single mom and you're so good at compartmentalizing, you need to compartmentalize that part about dating as well. Like, yes, I am a single mom, and yes, at work I'm very masculine. I sell or whatever it is. I work and I'm at the top of my career. And at home, I'm working as well as a mom and a dad. But when you go out on your date, take a little bit of moment to yourself. Maybe if it's your car or something after you drop off the babysitter. Go into your car and like really hone in on the intention and the energy of becoming a spoiled girl, Like when you are in there in your car, take a moment and just breathe in, breathe out, and just think that I am a spoiled girl. I deserve to be spoiled. And I've had this situation too, being brought up by a single mother and being from an immigrant mother, like she's an immigrant. That has taught me, to my detriment at some times, that love is about sacrificing. And that's not necessarily true, right? So love is about sacrificing. That is the story that we tell ourselves, but that's not true. Love is not sacrificing. Love is actually like a two-way street. That's more of the story you want to tell yourself. Love is a two-way street. Love is not sacrificing. Although, like, for your child, it can be, and that's like their whole world, is that you're sacrificing all this stuff, your own time, your own time, your privilege, everything that you are as like a woman, you're sacrificing that to be a single mom, and that's hard sometimes. I commend you for that. But with that, you have to unlearn that it's not about sacrificing. In a relationship, especially in this like spoiled girl, if you want spoiled girl treatment, it's not about sacrificing, okay? I want you, now let's move into the spoiled girl energy, right? I want you to feel like you're able to be vulnerable. I want you to feel like you can be vulnerable on a date, okay? And what is vulnerability? It's very difficult for independent women to be vulnerable. And what I mean is by vulnerable is asking for help, okay? It's so drilled into independent women to be self-sufficient. You have to be on your own. You have to do everything on your own, okay? But you have to let that go. You need to let that go. You do not need to sacrifice yourself to be in love, okay? And that was taught to me being, my mom was a single mother. She was also an immigrant, okay? So she saw from my grandma, my grandparents, both sides, my mom, my dad, they were both in this sacrificial love where their parents gave up everything to move to America. Their parents gave up their lives, their friends, their money, the house that they grew up in, the house that they've lived in, everything to come here. And so they tell you that, right? They tell you that I'm like getting emotional, but they tell you that all the time, right? They're like, I gave up everything to come here so that you can get an education and so that you can build this life in America. And yes, like that is so true. They did. And I'm so happy for them. But now that we are in America, we made it actually. So we don't need that. We don't need that thinking anymore. We are no longer this like refugee or, in this really, really hard place in your life where you needed to leave your home country completely and like leave everything that you knew. We don't need to do that anymore. We can willingly leave our country, our home, our hometown and go somewhere else now. Thank the Lord for their sacrifice. But because of their sacrifice, like, almost think of it like Jesus, because he was sacrificed, Easter, thank you. He was sacrificed so you do not have to go through that again. Like, you don't need to sacrifice yourself again. Your parents did that already. You do not need to do it again. Like, that's the thing, is that some people think that because their parents did it, they need to also do that. Like, that's not true. They did it so that you do not have to do that. They did that so that you can go out and have a career here in America. They did that so that you can be here in America and be yourself. They sacrificed that for you. And so you don't need to do that anymore. And honestly, if you were... Oh my God. Sorry. 1 second. There's a mosquito, so I need to get it. Mosquito season is coming upon us. Okay, I got it. Sorry, I get really bad mosquito bites. Like, so bad. But yeah, like, they made the sacrifice so that you do not have to do that anymore. You do not have to sacrifice your whole self to feel loved. Okay? You do not have to feel like your entire being you're giving to another person. Okay? So I felt like that so much, so long. I felt like, because I saw my mom never taking a day off, never taking time for herself, seeing her, not prioritizing her own self-care, not prioritizing her like skincare, hair care, whatever it is, working herself to basically death, and it was really hard. It was really hard not to do that again too. And so when I was in a relationship, I did that for a long time. I felt like I needed to sacrifice my whole self, and that meant my free time, my being, who I am, my friends, everything became about this man when we were in the relationship. Okay, everything, all my time I spent with him, all my hobbies we'd start together, every single thing we'd do together, everything I ever thought of ever to advance anything would be for him. And coupled with being an independent woman, being, saying that I would provide, or not saying that I would provide, but like, bragging about my accomplishments, bragging about my career, bragging about my family, saying all this stuff. And also having that trauma, okay, having this generational trauma that my mom and my dad brought onto me and my grandparents and everything, that has made me so, like, I just gave way too much in my relationships. I was so overgiving in my relationships to a point that it was destructive. It was self-destructive. And I could not continue to do this because it literally drained so much of me. I could not continue to do this. It was detrimental to not only my relationship, but my health. Like, at the end of the day, the relationship that I was in, where I was the one who provided a lot of stuff. I said, I have a good family, I have a good career, like, I can provide for it. I can do this and that. He was unable to provide everything else. He was unable to provide, number one, his money. Okay, he didn't feel like he could compete with my family money and my career. He didn't think that he was good enough. That emasculated him over time. Not being able to provide. Not being able to provide in the way that he can. And of course, the emotional part of it, like, yes, he could have been more of a caretaker. He cooked and cleaned more, actually. He was more of the cooker and cleaner. This is my ex. He was just unable to do that within his relationship. Cooking and cleaning did not fulfill him enough. Because, look at society. We don't tell men that cleaning and cooking is fulfilling for them. It can never be fulfilling for them. It can only help the person, the partner that they're with. It's not fulfilling for them. And so you get to this point. I remember this. I had this conversation with my ex. And it was already before he cheated on me or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember the details of it. But I think it was before he cheated on me. Or maybe it was the first time, because I went back, okay? Because I didn't think there was anything else out there for me. Okay? There is. Okay? But let's stay focused. I didn't think that, or he didn't think that he could provide for me. I remember talking about it. We were really, like, very serious and having a conversation, and this is the first time that he actually vocalized his vulnerability and said, why, I can talk a little bit about female friendships once I wrap up this independent thing. I'm almost done. Just a couple more minutes. A few more minutes, maybe 10 more minutes. But I remember sitting him down, or we were sitting down, and he was like, look, like, he didn't really have a job. We had met at a music festival. He didn't really have a job. He was working in trade school at the time, thinking of becoming an electrician or woodworking. He has been woodworking for a really long time. And at the end of the day, because I'm not saying, listen, like, I'm not saying blue collar guys are bad. I'm just saying, like, the way that our relationship was set up is not fruitful for a good relationship. So when I had started the relationship, I was like, oh, like, my family, they're really well off, and I'm going to school, like, at this good college, and I'm going to graduate early, and I'm going to have my career all set out for me, basically, is what I said. And he was like, no, I don't have all that. I don't have the family situation that you have where they can provide for me. I don't have the ability to provide right now. Okay, well, we're young too. I don't feel like, even if I do get the electrician thing, that I feel like it could fulfill you either. Like, he didn't feel like he could make enough money for me to be happy. And that's true. He was right, to be honest. And down the line, because of all that, that ate at his self-confidence. That ate him alive on the inside. It wasn't resentful of me. It was resentful of himself. It caused him to really hate who he was when we were together. And so that's why I no longer tell people I can provide for them or tell people that my family is providing for me. I don't talk about any type of providing. I talk about the relationships that I can bring to. I talk about friendships and the things that I do at home. And I talk about spas that I join and the workouts that I go to and drama that happens there or the girl drama. So when you're leaning into these traditionally girly things to talk about, that's fine, you know? When you're worried about not being girly or whatever, leave that at your job, okay? Leave that for your misogynistic boss not to think about you in that way. Your partner should think of you as girly. Your partner should think of you as a feminized woman. Like, that's, of course, if that's what you want. That's what I'm teaching here. But sometimes I was so independent that I became like this, like one of the bros. Like, I would be like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm one of the bros. I'm chill. Like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be that person. And like, I would hang around the bros and like, you know, I didn't feel like a girl. I didn't feel taken care of. I didn't feel pampered. I didn't feel like I added anything. There's all these bros there. I didn't add anything. You know, I had so many guy friends around. Like, they're all guys. What do I add as another bro? Like, nothing. And so I learned that when I started to adopt this like spoiled girl energy and spoiled girl like mentality, I felt so fulfilled. I felt like the guys knew what they were doing. Okay, I could still be like a bro, cool girl, but I would dress up like cute and stuff now, right? I wasn't wearing like, you know, baggy jeans and like sweatshirts anymore. Although that's like not nuance, right? Okay, don't come at me, nuance. But that's not what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to be girly. I like to be girly. And so I was trying to be somebody who I wasn't. I was trying to be one of the bros and like act a certain way so that they could let me into their like cool group, like bro group, right? But that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted at the end of the day. I was like, once I was in the bro group, they were like broing out and I was like, I don't relate. I don't want to be a bro. I don't want to bro out with you guys and like be, you know, I don't know what guys are to talk about disgusting stuff and like talk about sports and financial times. Like, that's not what I wanted to do. And I felt like that wasn't me, you know? And when I finally accepted that, although like I use that in my career and I use that to talk to men who I want to advance my career with, like dating app people that I talk to now, dating developers, software guys. That's how I talk. I'm talking like, you know, like, listen to me. Like, I have experience. I'm a woman, but I know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't need to talk like that to my partner, okay? I like to be dainty and cute and taken care of. And so when I bring it on, they're like, oh, like, what did you do this week? I won't say like, oh, I was working so hard. Work was so hard. I had this huge project and the deadline and like all these things. Like, no, I don't know what my boss will think. Like, no. Last week, okay, even though you did have like a crazy week, you know, just be like, last week, you know, I met up with my friend for lunch. Even though I had a stressful week, it was so fun to meet up with her and chat. We just had a really good time getting our nails done, connecting after a long, hard day at work. You see how those two, they're both mentioning that you're having a hard week, but one of them is like more feminized, more dainty. You're emphasizing relationships that you build. Like, that is important as a feminized woman, is like your relationships and what you're doing with them. And so you want to be in this place where you're, yes, being a little bit girly. Like, yes, I did get my hair cut this week. Like, yes, I did get my hair blow dried before I got here, you know. You want to tell him all those things. And although you may think it's boring, although you might think he may be bored out of his mind, you know, that's fine. Like, you are a girl. You are a girly girl. And pretending like you like Financial Times and like the stock market for your date specifically is not gonna get you to the place that you want to get to, okay? If you're really passionate about like Financial Times or whatever it is, like some business thing that has come up, okay? Let's save it for a different conversation, okay? Save it for a different conversation with a different person. Either a coworker, a friend who you're in business with, somebody like that. Keep that for that person, okay? On the date, you do not need to mention that, okay? You do not need to feel like who you are at work. You need to disengage and just take on that energy, like, especially like a few things that I mentioned, like on the subway. These are just examples of other ways you can embody the spoiled girl energy. But on the subway, I'm not rushing directly to a seat immediately, okay? I'm taking a look around, going slow, and make sure that I don't, you know, damage any of the clothes that I'm wearing or the bag that I'm carrying with fast-paced movement and like go, go, go energy, independent woman energy. Like, I can do it. I'll just like look around, you know, I'll look at the seat. People will see me looking at the seat, okay? Especially like tradesmen and stuff. They'll see me looking at the seat and they'll, like Moses, part ways for me to get to the seat. They'll either stand up and for me to get the seat. And so many people were like, oh, like, you're so entitled. You're so, like, this, that, for wanting a seat. Okay, back in the day, not even back in the day, okay? The gentleman, okay, a gentleman, many gentlemen, they give up seats for women, children, pregnant women, and old people. Women were on there, okay? Women were on there before, okay? It's in this generation, in the last decade, we've fought so hard to remove women from this equality situation. Like, feminism, like, we don't need to sit or stand anymore. Okay, no, please move. Me at work, I'm expected to wear heels all day long, all the time. Okay, move aside, please. And like, I'm not even saying any of that. That's just like what I say to the haters, right? Of course, when I'm like there, I'm like, I'm just looking cute, okay? If I want to look, I literally have my hair done like this all the time with a little bit of makeup. I go to the subway. People are like, wow, she looks cute. She looks all dressed up and stuff. She needs a seat. You know, women will even get up for me too. Women, men, whoever, they will see you. They'll see your spoiled girl energy and want to get up for you because they see that, like, you needed to be provided for. Yes, my earrings and my necklace, they're all from Amazon. It's linked to my bio. This one's only like $15 too, which I love. And it comes with, the little necklace weight in the back, so it doesn't like swing around and like get twisted up. It always stays here, which I love. So yeah, that's a little bit about going from being an independent woman and the thinking that is an independent woman and changing it to becoming a spoiled girl. And I'm going to be having a course soon. Of course, you guys can get more info on that later, but I'm going to be having a course full of all this information. The course will really, of course, this is free. I'm going to be doing these like free lives, of course, and questions, Q&As that you guys want. But I will really dive deep on how to change yourself to become from this independent woman and become a spoiled girl. So yay, thank you guys so much for tuning in on the live. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I can take them. If you guys want to request on the live, that's fine too. We can chat for a little bit. But yeah, we can do like the story time. And I'll read some of these Q&As really quick. Should a man pay for a babysitter if dating somebody with kids? Absolutely. Or at least like give some money over. It doesn't have to directly go to the babysitter, but yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you, this was brought on by, I had that Spoiled Girls meetup about women's entrepreneurship. And one of the questions was, as an ambitious woman, how do I date an ambitious guy in terms of timing? Like, we are both working so hard, so much time around the clock, that it becomes very difficult for us to meet up. And this is what I told them, because I think this will be useful for you guys as well. But when you're dating ambitious people, okay, when you're dating men in general, you need to set the standard. You need to set something, okay? Anything. You need to set it so that they can, okay, realize the bar and get to it. If you're not saying anything, if you have no expectations, if you're just like, yeah, where are we going? What are we doing? Like, what's the situation? Like, you are gonna get played, because that's the situation. You're not playing anybody, you're getting played. Like, if you have no standards, nothing going on, like, yeah, people are gonna play you because you don't know what's going on. You have no idea what's going on. They know because you're not setting the standards, right? And so when you're dating men, you need to set your standards. And so when you're dating an ambitious man and you're an ambitious woman, you don't have a lot of time together, okay, and you want to meet up, you're going to set a time. You're going to be like, I see people in finance, like I investment bankers constantly live up to this, and doctors, all the doctor and investment banker friends, they all do this. My guy friends, if you set the standard, if you're like, hey, I'm also a doctor, I work really long hours, okay, either in the morning or at night, I only have this week 10 o'clock, from 10 o'clock to 10:15 to meet up with you. That's it, okay? And you need to come to my house, okay? I'm going to be getting back and showering and only have like 15 minutes before I have to go to sleep and get up for whatever shift it is at the hospital, okay? You set that standard and you will be surprised, okay? The bigger the situation that you set, the more strict of a standard that you set, you'll be surprised. They will live up to it. They are problem solvers, right? They're problem solvers. They're like, all right, you can only meet from 10 to 10:15. You got it, babe. I'll be there at 9:59 waiting for you at your door so we can have the full 15 minutes. They will rise to the occasion. I promise you. But if you have nothing, if you're just like, oh, I hope, I pray, I just hope that he like comes and sees me at like 10. No, you're going to be like, the only time that I have to see you this week is at 10. Watch him. He's going to show up. He's going to be like, oh, bam, bam, bam. I'm going to show up with some flowers and some stuff because you set that standard. You were like, oh, I'm going to do it, you know? He's going to be like, wow, she has standards. She works like really hard. She's dedicated. It's not just like the working really hard. It's being dedicated, right? It's being serious about your job and like serious about something. And you're like, you need to come see me at 10. You're like, wow, this woman knows what she wants. I can be that man for her, you know? They will rise to the occasion. You'd be surprised. Thank you guys for following and sending out the likes. Yeah, I guess I can play some music right now. Who is this dude? Do I need to block this dude? Nate's. Okay. We're gonna block him. Bye-bye, Nate. I love that everybody was like, yes, please get him out of here. Same. Yeah, he is our word. See, the thing is that I actually don't recommend an ambitious man. I recommend somebody, yes, he has ambitions, but he's not at a point where he's ambitious anymore. If he's still ambitious, there's still something that is unresolved in his career and his business that's not ready yet. So ambition is almost like potential to me. So like potential, ambition, they're the same thing. Unless you're successful, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Yes, established. Ambition is for women, potential ambition. Men, I prefer to be already successful. So then they have time, they have mental capacity to deal with it. They're not thinking about, oh, where's my next accomplishment going to be, right? They want to accomplish the marriage situation. That's the checkbox that they are focused on. And you can find them literally anywhere. I hate when dating coaches say this, but it's so true. You can find them literally anywhere. And I'm not opposed to going up to a person at a bar. What I'm opposed to is when you start having to chase them afterwards. You can bring to light that you are there. Like, hi, call them over. You have to call over the guy. I noticed that you guys don't know how to do this, but you need to call over the guy. Let me write this down. Okay, you can't just be like, when you get to the bar, you can't just be like, oh, here's my book, here's my drink, like, hopefully somebody comes up to me today. Like, you look so busy, girl. You look busy. Look at you. Okay, this is me with a book at the bar. Okay, don't I look so busy? I would not even want to come up to me. If I saw my friend like this, I don't think I even would come up to her at the bar. So when you're at the bar, okay, you get your drink. Okay, you get your drink. And when you've walked in, you've already made like a little mental note about everybody there. You notice somebody was looking at you when you got in. Okay, you get your drink. I guess you don't have to get your drink first. You can get somebody else to pay for it, but I'm not gonna, being a past independent woman, I'm not gonna wait for somebody to get me a drink. That's not why I'm there, okay? It's not just about the drink and having him pay for it, okay? It's having him come over. So you're gonna get your drink or your book, okay? You're gonna start reading. You're gonna be like, okay, you can't be too obvious with your book. Sometimes I don't love the book thing, but some girls like it. And it's like a difference to drinking, right? You get your blue book. Okay, you read it for a little bit. Not too much. Just a little bit. You're bored. Put it down. Okay? Look around. Smiling. Talk to the bartender for a little bit if you get too bored or if there's nobody there. And then at this point, like, somebody should be staring at you. Okay? And then you're going to go and wave to them. Or like a little cute, hi, like this. Hi, Celesta. Yeah, so you're gonna take a little look, have a little drink, call him over, be like, hi, do a little shoulder dance. Yeah, point like this. You can even point to your drink, be like, you want it? Come here. Be like, come here. Yes. So when you walk into the bar, a man who is waiting for somebody to show up, okay, he's like this. He's like this at the bar already. You're walking in. He's like this. He's like this. like waiting for somebody. Tapping on his little armchair, whatever it is, you know. He's just waiting. He's like this. He's probably staring at the entrance, you know. You're like, okay, that's why it's so important when you walk in to not be on your phone, or to always pretend. This is what I do. Pretend like you know somebody there, okay? Not like a wave, but pretend, just mentally think that like everybody there is your friend. So when you go in, you're smiling, you know? Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. That one girl, she does like gold digger advice, but she does it really well. There's that one girl who's been on TikTok who's been doing the entrances and like what you should talk about. I don't love everything she says, but some of it is right. But okay. So you're walking in. I have to find her again. I'll repost her on my channel this week. I have to find her name again. I didn't really. So you walk in. Don't walk in like this, okay? This is how a lot of people walk in. They're staring at their phone. They go straight to the bar. Can I have one martini, please? You know, and they sit at the bar. They drink the thing. Bam, the phone comes right back up. They're drinking. Like this. They're stripping. They're swiping. Like, you don't look like you want anybody to talk to you. You look like you're just getting a drink, and then that's it, you know? This is what you want to do. You want to walk in. Phones in your pocket. Not to be seen, okay? It's in your purse, okay? You could even, like, grab your lip gloss when you walk in. Put a little bit on, you know? Before you get in. Make sure those lips look good. And then right when you walk in, okay, maybe you have your book. Since the girls like the book, we'll do the book situation. You're studious. You have lots of stuff going on. You walk in, okay? I want you to look kind of like a dumbass, okay? Okay, just take a look around. It's gonna feel weird at first, but just take in the sense of the scenery. You're gonna go. Right when you walk in, okay? They're going to be like, hi, how are you? While the hostess is doing that, you're going like this. They're like, do you want a seat tonight? And you're still looking. Almost like you're finding a friend at a bar, right? When you walk into a bar and the host is like, oh, do you have a reservation? Do you know somebody here? And you're like, oh, I know somebody. This is what you're doing. And then you're like, there's my friend. And then you go walk over to them, right? You feel like a dumbass because you don't actually know anybody there yet. But, like, it creates this, like, happy, opening, receiving energy. People see that you're there, happy, looking like a good time. Like, not like, woo, but, like, you just look happy. You're open, you know, your energy's open. You're not walking in like this. Can I get a seat at the bar? And then, like, you go to the bar, right? You're like this. You walk in and you're like, yeah, go have a seat at the bar. And you go to the bar. You know? Like, some people get so into it. Will it work if you're wearing a mask? Yes, it will work if you're wearing a mask. In today's day and age, your eyes are the windows to the soul, and they speak so much, okay? This is what you're going to... With the mask, I'll even show you with the mask on. You're going to notice, like, a difference. Grabbing my mask. Coming back. Okay. We got our mask on. This is from Skims. I'm obsessed. Okay? When you walk in, you're gonna... Some people, when they walk in, okay, they're gonna go like this. They're gonna stare at their phone. Yeah, can I get a seat at the bar? They're gonna stare at their phone the entire time they walk over there, even. When they get to the bar, can I get one drink? And then back onto their phone. And then you get your drink. You put your mask down finally. You take a sip. You take your first look around. This is what people do, usually. And they're like, oh, no one's looking at me. And so they're back on their phone. Hopefully somebody comes up to me, right? Like, no, you look so closed off. Okay? You're going to walk in. You got this thing in your pocket. Okay. You have your book. We're going to do the smize, right? Take a look around. Versus like just staring at your phone like this. Can I get one drink, please? You can see your head's turning. Right? Okay? If somebody's looking at you, make eye contact with them. It's going to feel so awkward at first. You're going to want to look away and look at the ground. Okay? Like when you're... And then you actually lock eye contact with somebody. That's good. That's what you want. Okay? You want to lock eye contact with somebody who's looking at the door. That's the whole bar situation. Okay? This is the bar dynamic. People are staring at the door. When you walk in, you're looking for people who are staring at the door. When you make eye contact with them, instead of like immediately looking down, smile at them, okay? Smile, and then look away. Or do an eyebrow thing. In the shoulder. Right? Oh my god, I got lip gloss all on the inside. But you're like, you know? And then like look away. Do you like it? You know? Like blink. Blinking is cute. That's why I like the whole blinking situation. That's real, okay? That's a move. Women have been doing it for centuries. The eye flutter, okay? It is giving. Thank you. Yeah, people, I haven't necessarily tried it completely in the UK, but in my experience, people in the UK are very, very nice and very open to talking and to, you know, so it's not necessarily like a regional thing. That's why I'm like, it's not that bad to like go up to the person too. If you're like, hey, like I saw you staring at me, is this seat free? And then if they're like, yeah, sit down. I actually don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. When it becomes chasing is when you start asking for their phone number and like asking like all this stuff for them. If you're like moving the conversation forward, then like, yeah, that's chasing. But if you are just like drawing attention to yourself from this guy who's like doesn't really realize that you're there, that's fine. That's allowed. What becomes chasing is when you're like, oh, like, let me give you my number, like, take down my number, like, do you think I look nice, like, all this other stuff, because you're going to be chasing for that for the rest of the time. So what types of questions do you need to ask a man to see if they're a provider? I have a dating checklist, vetting checklist in my bio. You can download. There's a few questions on there that'll get you started. But it's basically like asking the normal dating questions. It's just how they respond. You want to see how they spend their vacations, what they do with their family and stuff. Like, how's their relationship with your mom, your sisters, your siblings? Oh yeah, the age gap thing. I think, to be honest, I'm getting a little bit older. I feel like even 10, 15, 20 years is okay. 10 to 20 years. But you cannot be that young. So if you are like 20, like 19 to 20, 21 maybe, like you do not need to be dating that much or dating that old. 10 to 20 years. When you are of the age, I think, of appropriate dating age, which is, I think, for women, 25, because at 20, maybe a little bit younger than that, like flex, give some, leave some. But when you're in your early 20s, you don't really know what you want yet. Although you think you do. if you're getting into a relationship with a 10, 20-year-old age gap relationship, he's gonna want you to like settle down. So don't be doing that. But if you are like 25, when you're at a point when you're ready to settle down, I guess I should say, then date a man who's 10 to 20 years older than you. That is my thing. Did you just take that photo of me? Who is that? Haters are so weird online. Yes, 20 years is scary, but what I mean, my boyfriend, we're 12 years now. I've dated somebody that is closer to like, closer to my parents' age than my age before, back in San Francisco. He was like one of the first Apple employees or something like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed our time together, to be honest. Sometimes I think my fiance is even a little bit immature, and we're 12 years apart. So yes, women do mature faster than men. So I would say that me and my fiance now are like similar emotional states, like emotionally. Emotional age is similar, but we like I could go older for sure. Oh yeah, and I wanted to give you guys the story time about the girls that came to my birthday. I have to go soon though, maybe like 15 minutes. I should go. I have a dinner date with my friend, so I have to get going soon. Yes, thank you. The lamp in the back, it has feathers. They're ostrich feathers. Thank you guys for following me. To be honest, I feel like I could date older for sure. Definitely. You will be the more immature one in the relationship, but sometimes that's like better for the first time. Like you don't have to be too, like you don't have to be guiding the relationship of like when you guys need to talk and having good communication and talking about this and that, and like sometimes older is a bit better. People are judgmental. So that's why I kind of want to get into more of like the friendship situation, like having other spoiled girls, having other female friendships who have the same values as you is so important, because like when you bring your guy around, they're not going to be like, ew, he's so old, like, or right when he leaves, they're like, oh my God, can you believe like May is dating this old guy, I personally would not date younger. That's just me though. I'm not in the age where I can date 9 years younger yet. But I know people who do. My friend was recently she's 40. She's in a relationship with a man who's like 35. I think like she works, she's very she's just like very out there, and so she works for herself, also entrepreneur, so it's very hard to find somebody that will understand her in her business. And also she's a little bit crazy, like unique, and so somebody who's older, just think like societally the values in our society for older men versus younger men. He just vibed more with, women's being entrepreneurs and stuff. But sometimes like men who are older, this is my issue with older men. Not that they're older, but because they're like in the generation of baby boomers or like in the generation of Gen X, they think like a certain way. And me as like a Gen Z millennial, I sometimes feel like I can't relate. Sometimes they say kind of like misogynistic stuff. Aw, cute. Thank you for the crown. Sometimes they do like misogynistic stuff. Like that's kind of how my relationship with the other person ended, because they just said some misogynistic stuff. Like we were in a business meeting and stuff, or not like a real business meeting, but we were with his business friends, and they had said something, and I was like, oh no, like you should do this instead. And they're like, honey, let the men talk. And I was like, I was shook, you know. I was like, I can't believe he just said that to me. And all of his friends were like, yeah, like shut up. Not really shut up. They were like, yeah, like the men are speaking right now. And I'm like, so that is kind of like hard to navigate. But I mean, it's a different time, to be honest, if you think about it like that. They literally lived in a different time. So that was kind of like my big thing, dating older, was that the values didn't align. And so that's why my fiance, he's 39. He turns 39 this week. It's his birthday. That's why I think that his age is good, because he's an older millennial, young Gen X. So he's still a millennial, and he gets all those like millennial values, but he's still old. Providers can 100% be mentor figures for you. That's kind of like their thing, is that they're also providing mentorship to you. Yeah. They love to focus on how you're younger. You don't know anything about X, and so you shut them down. That's so good. That's great. Where do I recommend going to meet other spoiled girlies too? Spoiled girl friends? Like, invest in your hobbies. It's really, really great to have hobbies. People who invest in themselves and have hobbies are not going to judge like you and your relationship that much. Sometimes you'll meet people who are like very judgy, but like if you're like investing in yourself, I'm sure those people also had a time and period in their life where people were judgy about their like time that they're taking away from. And so invest in yourself, invest in your hobbies. I've met so many of my friends from like the nail salon, getting lunch during the day or by myself. Like that's why you have to go out and do things by yourself, because you are opening up more opportunity to learn and get to know more people versus like going with your like your attached friend or whatever, the friend that you're attached to. I like elder millennial men for myself. Yes, you can. Yeah, totally text me if you want to code some app for meeting spoiled girls. That would be so fun. Doing lives about. I'll write that down. You should. They said. I can't even read your thing. I'm so bad at reading names and stuff. You should start doing lives about tips on dating old people and how to get around certain things. Dating older and tips to get around. I actually think that's pretty valuable. Me and my fiance actually wanted to start an account where we like rewatched movies, and like I never got the older references from them. I thought that would be funny. But yeah, I will do another live about that. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the female friendships thing, and then I'm gonna post this one on YouTube later. Yeah, LA. You guys are so. Dreamy Stars says, wish there was more girls like you in LA, spoiled but nice. Yeah, there are really nice girls in LA. A lot of my girlfriends are from LA, or who have lived in LA, but you guys are just so spread out down there. It's so difficult to meet up with you guys. Like, LA is so vast that it becomes so difficult to meet friends and meet like-minded people. Yes, we love when people call you high maintenance. We love that. How do I differentiate between provider? I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know. Please elaborate. If you seem to get hit on by more Gen Z than millennials, your age, then you're probably dressing a certain way. But Gen Z guys sometimes are like, they are ready to be the caretakers and stuff, so they're ready to pounce on a Kruger. Yeah, Pilates has been a really great way to meet friends as well. Being consistent is like the main thing that you want to do with those ones, that when you're meeting friends, be consistent with whatever hobby you're taking on. Sorry, I'm just writing down where to meet other spoiled girls. Thank you guys for following. I'm gonna have to log off soon, so send in a few more questions before I leave here. Okay, how do you differentiate between a provider versus somebody who's wealthy and hoards his wealth? So that's a little bit when I was talking about being vulnerable as an independent woman, like working on that to become a spoiled girl. Be vulnerable about the situations that you're in. Just say like, hey, I need money for, like, I would love to get some money for my nails, or like, I have this big thing coming up. I'd like to get a dress for it. Or, you know, there's a situation that happened at my house, like I really need this new vacuum cleaner. Do you think you can get it for me? Your provider will have no trouble giving it to you. I had this friend who was asking me, they just started dating, and he seemed rich. He had like, his family owns a restaurant, a really successful restaurant, a few restaurants, and he's opening up his own now. And she was asking like, hey, like this is really embarrassing, but like my dog just like had a huge accident on my velvet couch. Like, how should I say something to him? I know he has 3 cats and he has that little Bissell green machine. Like, what can I do? And sorry, I need to go blow my nose real quick. Yeah, so she was like scared to tell him she had an issue. She was scared to be like, oh, like my dog had an accident on the couch. Can I borrow your green machine? I was like, borrow, girl. You should ask him for the whole machine. It only costs like $150. So don't be afraid to tell them about the situation that you're in. If you need help, like if you can't pay your rent, like ask them. Be like, look, the recession's really hard. I just lost my job. It's been really hard to like make things work. I've been dog walking and stuff. Do you think you could just like send me a few $100s at the end of the month so I can pay my rent easier? A few thousand. Yes. Did I watch the Sprinkle Girl? Yes, I'm obsessed. I haven't watched that much of it. Just the person that's been posting their TikToks recently on TikTok, or like their videos on TikTok. I've watched that one. But I like her. I like the stuff that she talks about. Yeah, class app is great. for that. ClassPass, sorry. Class app. Yeah, ClassPass is great. And they ClassPass will also get you nails, spas, treatments, facials and stuff too. Yes, it's about speaking about how to ask for things that we want without being shy about it. Yes, that is the whole spoiled girl thing. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I love her. Yes, give them a problem so that they can find a solution to be Superman. They love that. Exactly. So many people are like, I'm so scared to ask him. And I was like, you need to practice being vulnerable. You have issues that need to be helped. Tell him you need help and he will come save you. I promise. I promise. Do you feel like men who are providers always want something in exchange? No, absolutely not. They do not want anything in exchange. If a provider man wants something in exchange, he is not a provider. He's not in his life ready to become a provider then. No. Because ex-boyfriends will give you the world too. If they're a provider and you guys break up, and you still need something, you can reach out to him and be like, look, James, like I'm really having a hard time right now. You know, the thing with my job, it didn't really work out. And so now I need money for my dog and his dog food. They will come save you even after the relationship has ended. Okay, that's what's so great about provider men. They will provide even after the relationship ends. My friend, she's dating this provider, okay? They are in a civil, they're not even dating anymore, but they're in like a civil partnership because she needed healthcare. And he was like, yeah, I'll provide that for you. He was like, I need healthcare, but I know we're broken up, but I just really need healthcare right now. And he's like, yeah, I'll get that for you, babe. We're not even dating. I got you. Because men want to feel needed. They want to feel like they can contribute something. So some men will expect something back, but not all men, okay? Not real provider men. Some high value men, they'll see value for value, right? You send value, you get value back, right? That is a high value man. And that's why I don't really like using that term anymore, but a provider man will provide and he will not expect anything back because he's in a point in his life where he can provide. And that's for, like, what do you expect? If you're expecting men to, like, provide and not expecting something back, what about for his children? What about for his children? What are his children going to give him? Right? Like, what is a child going to give this man if he's expecting something back? Like, we don't want a man who's expecting something when he's giving stuff. When I'm caring for people, when I cook somebody a dinner, I'm not expecting them to do anything for me. I did that from the gracious of my heart, okay? That was a gift. I'm not expecting you to gift it back. It was a gift, you know? Being on the caretaker side, right? Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's so hard to catch up to these questions. I know, it is very hard to be vulnerable. It's so hard. It is so hard to be vulnerable. It really is. So, you feel sick when you're weak because you're so vulnerable. Like, that is something that should alarm you. You should be like, wow, I have so much inner work to do. I need to be better about being vulnerable with people. I need to work on myself so I can let people know when I'm in need. And this is an issue for me too. So I've been hyper independent as a child because my parents were getting a divorce, so I was like left alone for a lot of it. So I had to fend for myself, and so that made me into this like hyper independent woman. And to ask for help is really difficult. So that's why I'm like, you need to practice asking for help. Yeah, men aren't afraid to ask for the kitty, so you shouldn't be afraid to ask for the money. Sprinkle, sprinkle. That's what she says. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you gave a problem and he didn't offer, you can draw it out for him, but he's not a provider man, baby. He should be figuring it out. All men, that's natural for them. You give them a problem, they're like, let me figure this out for you. Okay? They're like, let me help you. They want to help. You have to just say that you need help, though. Wouldn't it be bad and look bad if he's dating somebody new? Because that would look bad to me. It's fine. You're going to date somebody new, too. So you got super distant and he was like, what's wrong? You need to, again, be vulnerable. Maybe you weren't clear enough the first time. I don't know. Right. So be clear. Be like, I need help with my dishwasher. It's broken. I don't know what to do about it. Literally just tell him what's going on. I promise you it's gonna be okay, and you can tell him. And this is why, like, the hyper-independent women's trope with the spoiled girl trope is so difficult to master. It's because you're like, I got it. I don't need you to help me. I got it. You know? You're like, I don't even want to mention it to him because I got it. Like, no. I know you got it. But you can ask for help. You can ask for help. Oh my God, you guys are messaging so quick. I can't even keep up here. Okay, I gotta go in like 5 minutes. 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go. How do you ask for a man for money? Again, setting it up in a solution-based situation is the best. So you have a problem, let them be the solution. So we all have issues when we're asking for money, right? It's not just like for money. And that's why we get this like gold digger situation. It's not just the money, okay? I'm not just like putting it directly into my savings account. I'm using it. What are you using it for? What's the issue? What do you need help with? Do you need help with your nails? Do you want to look nice better? Like with the nails? Say that. Be like, I want to look nicer for you. I want to get my nails and my hair and my a new dress for the date. Can you pay for that? Like, or whatever it is, you know? Like, I feel like my house is such a mess right now. Like, I really could use some help by getting a cleaner, you know? I would love if somebody would just help me clean sometimes. Provider men love solving problems. They really do. Yeah, men are not dumb. They're smart. What if he paid almost $1,000 for something and you need something new? It's fine. Just tell him you need more money. You have something else that came up. That's life. There's always more expenses, okay? And he's always making more money. He probably made that $1,000 back already in less than 1 day of work. He made it back. So where do you find these men? Again, everywhere. You can find them everywhere. It's all about vetting, and you can get my vetting checklist in my bio. And also about attracting, right? So it's about vetting and like attracting the right person. How do I ask for cash? I need stuff for Amazon. Just say you need stuff from Amazon. What's the stuff that you need to get? Tell him. Don't tell me. Tell him. Okay? Tell him. What do you guys think of my sprinkle should be? Like, tell him what stuff you want to get from Amazon. Spoiled. Ew, I hate that. Cancel that immediately. Delete. Haven't seen me in years. What's up? I've been posting. I've been here. I've been just trying to focus on the matchmaking thing. I am not a law of seduction person. I'm not a seducer. I don't like to lead with my sex appeal. That's only gotten me with guys who only want me for sex. What's on your Amazon wish list? Tell me. So then I can just tell you to tell him. Yeah, that's so true. Y'all don't need to be thinking if it's too much. Just ask. He's got a job. He can make it back. So true. Literally, you guys are not even asking for that much. Can I tell you? You're not asking for that much. This is nothing. Amazon is nothing. $1,000 is nothing. That's nothing, babes. Okay? Talk to me when you need a house. Okay? Talk to me when you need your rent paid. Like, that is something that he can provide for real. This is nothing. That's just gifts. Like, he should be getting you that stuff anyways. Just be like, send him the list. Yes, you should definitely get a gift by date 3, for sure. How do you know if he's a provider straight away and not to waste time? Literally give him a problem to solve. Get him to solve a problem for you and see if he throws money at it. That's why on the first date, I'm like, don't brag about your work and stuff. Just brag, if anything, about how many issues you have in your life that you need to get paid. Like, oh my God, rent is so hard. Working is so hard. My rent is getting paid so hard. Like, paying my rent is so difficult. I can't even go out to dinners, and I can't even enjoy myself. I feel like I can't even get my nails done. And then see how fast he's like, oh my God, you need to quit your job and just like hang out with me all day. Trust me, I don't even want to mention this. I'm gonna mention it next time. It's too. I'm gonna log off soon. So, dating the staff is just like, This one time, I dated this guy I picked up from a pizza place, and he was a busser, and he legit did not go to his job the next day after we hung out. Okay, he was like, nah, we're just gonna hang out. I was like, what? I'm not a provider. Don't hang out with me. I don't have anything to give you. Please leave. What questions to ask? I have a dating checklist in my bio. You guys can start from there and then work your way up. Call or text is fine. I prefer call. If you can cry, that's great. Men hate when you cry, and you have to stop thinking of it as like a emotional situation that you're brought onto yourself. Okay, use it as a tool. I'm serious. Like, if you can cry, then he'll be trying to fix it up very quickly. That's why men hate when women cry, because they don't hate it. They just want to fix it very quickly. Okay, it activates their like masculine energy, and they want to help you fix stuff. What kind of women do provider men look for? Oh, you know what? I'm actually meeting at 6:30 today, so I can go for a little bit longer. What kind of women do provider men look for? To be honest, you can dress up any way you want, as long as it's like not too much of something. I know that sounds really bad, but men, think about it this way. Men are actually very fragile, shy beings. And with the way that our society is set up is that when they're not fragile, shy beings, they have to be this like alpha male and like really confronting a lot of things and assertive and all these other things. If you look like just a lot, you know what I mean? Even this can even go in like the fancier realm too. Like if you look too done up and stuff too, that they will feel too intimidated. So at whatever your like polished version of yourself is, because I know you can be polished in like not just the elegant style, but you can be polished in like street style as well, and not being overly something, you know? Being dressed for the occasion is perfect. Because sometimes you can be like way too dressed up for a situation, and then he just feels intimidated. He doesn't want to go over there because he's intimidated. Yes, do the problem dumping on the first date and see what they do. Because if he's not a provider, if he's a provider, he'll provide a solution and some money. If he's not, then he's gonna be like, you can just figure it out on your own, and that's giving so much independent woman. Yeah, if he says he loves your independence and loves that you can like take care of things on your own, he has nothing to provide. He's got nothing to provide. The dating checklist is free. So if you are a broke college student, it's free. Is looks important? They're not as important as you may think. The way that you carry yourself is way more important than like your looks. You fake cried before and got what you wanted. Real tears. It was giving Emmy an Oscar. I'm obsessed. Yes. I experienced too much trauma to be acting this vulnerable. Exactly. That's how I feel as well. But it's something that we have to work on. It really is. That's the trauma that I was talking about before. Like if you've been... if you've experienced something that makes you want to do something over and over and again, that's trauma. Like if you got cheated on and now you don't want to ever date anybody else because every single guy is going to be exactly the same, then that's trauma. Like you can be vulnerable. I promise you. Thank you guys for following. If you want matchmaking, you can apply at meetenchante.com. There's a long application process and now like wait list. Yes, there is different levels of polish for different men. Oh my gosh. You're such a strong black woman. I am a dainty, delicate. I am dainty and delicate. I am weak. Same. I've said that before too. Somebody was like, you're a strong woman. I was like, I'm not strong. I don't want to be strong. I'm not a strong person. How can men give you a spoiled girl treatment? Well, you have to act like a spoiled girl first and people will show you. Some people will call it entitlement. Yeah, that's right. I am entitled. I don't care. I'm entitled to how I feel and how I'm being taken care of. Oh my god, my dog. Sorry, I have to take him on a walk soon. love your hair. How did you curl it? I actually did a hack. Oh my god, he's so loud. Sorry, he's gonna calm down in like a minute. I did my hair like up. He's in the crate, so I can't yell at him right now. Ugh, so annoying. But he'll calm down. My hair, I actually put it up in like pigtails first, like this, and then I did the curling for a hack, and then I brushed it out, and then I clipped these parts in and take these guys out. How to not be insecure around wealthy men? That's pretty difficult. I personally like to read up and just not speak that much. Like, I will read, I know what's going on in the world. I know about politics and stuff, so I'm not like completely oblivious to when they're talking. If a guy has money and doesn't spend money on bags, shoes, jewelry, then would you date him? No, because I'm a girl who likes bags, shoes, and jewelry. So, oh my god, this dog, you guys. It's because I left him in the crate too long and we should have gone on a walk already. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go soon. Yes, spoiled, rotten. She believes the sun should rise and set according to her. How can you act spoiled if you've never been spoiled? So that's why you have to adopt this mentality for yourself. So spoil yourself first. Dedicate yourself to like the relationships too, like friendships, taking care of yourself, having hobbies. Oh my god. Down. Down. I'm gonna have to just take him out in a second because he's crazy. Yeah, see, some people are naturally spoiled because of your dad, and that's good upbringing. That's what you should be. So you just fake it until you make it, you know? How can you be spoiled by another man when you already have a boyfriend and don't want to hide it? Just tell him, I guess. Some guys like to be cuckolded. That's not really my take, though. You would show him a bag and he's like, yeah, I like it. He would say, oh, that's cute. And I would say, yeah, I want it. And he doesn't do anything, then pass. Yeah, body image issues make you feel unloved. Yeah, that makes you have to work on that through like working on yourself, either working out, because that gives you confidence. Not just your body changing, but the fact that you're like clocking in, clocking out like an hour a day for yourself makes you build that confidence because you're investing in yourself. Yeah, see, my dad didn't spoil you, but your dad didn't spoil you, but your sisters are spoiled because of you, and you're the eldest sister. That's perfect. That is such a great mentality. And because of that, that's why you need to spoil yourself too. And, you know, have that mentality that you're going to be your own provider for a while. Then you can really be like, oh yeah, I'm spoiled. You can pretend like you're your own boyfriend. Yeah, like my other boyfriend took me out on this day, and they will fight for you. Hi, Angel. I'm gonna go get my dog real quick. I have to let him out of the crate. He's barking. Yes, Tuzi, you need to leave that man immediately. He said you would need to be a good girlfriend first, but he cheated on you. It's hard to be good. You can't be good if he's cheating on you and stuff. He doesn't even like you, babe. I'm sorry. He does not like you. If he's not even responding to your link messages and the fact that he cheated on you, he's making you earn it. Provider men do not make you earn things. He will give, and think about it this way, like the ex-boyfriend situation. Like my friend's ex-boyfriend will provide her health care. They're not even dating. Health care. Okay? From his job. They're not dating. Would this person do that for you? And you were dating? Like, no. Leave him immediately. Any book recommendations? I have some in my Amazon link for dating books. Did I get engaged? Yes, I did. I'm engaged. Oh my God, come on. He said he cheated on you because you're mean to him and that he knows he's not your type. But he's the one that chased after you, so you gave him a chance. No, dump him immediately. He cheated on you because he's telling you that he cheated on you because you're mean to him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's making excuses. No excuses. Okay? No excuses. You're gonna be spoiled. You're gonna be a spoiled girl. Our spoiled girl's gonna be acting that way? Our spoiled girl's gonna be treated that way? Like, no. You're a spoiled girl. Tell him. You're a spoiled girl and we're breaking up. Thank you so much. Thanks for liking my ring. Girl, Tuzi Faye, you know the answer. That's why you're in here trying to tell us to tell you. This is why you need girlfriends who are also spoiled girls, okay? You need to have this community to be like, no, you're being crazy. Yes, he cheated because he's insecure and he's making excuses and he's blaming it on you, but it's really not you. He's probably cheated on all his girlfriends in the past. Older guys are just as stupid. Yes, they just have more money. Fake designer, good quality, I love, but at the same time, I always regret it because when I want to sell it and I'm tired of the bag, it doesn't make me any money. And if I had just bought the real one, I could have sold it for a profit, or at least the same, not lost any money from it. So I actually think of it not as enjoyment. I think of it as an asset first, and just like a different place to put my money. So it will stay stable, and then I can sell it at the end if I don't want it. Versus fake designer, they have no value. They depreciate immediately. They $0. You can't really resell it because it's illegal to sell. You can sell it to a friend, but then like your friend's like, why am I buying this fake bag off of you? He was engaged though, so technically you're the third person in the relationship, but you didn't know he was engaged. Oh my God, you need to leave immediately. Yes, you guys are so true. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror and envision the woman you want to be. Now take the jump. Eternity, says Safro. Yeah. Yeah. You know the answer. You know the answer. Just because he's 35, don't make excuses for him, okay? Age, yes, is a thing, but if he's acting immature, don't be like, oh, he's 35, he should know better. Okay, no, he's showing you that he's immature and he has not matured since he was 16. Oh my god, a dirty needs to fro. You're so funny. So he got in your head with his age. Who cares about him probably balding? Ah, so true. So why are you still dating this guy? I don't understand. Yeah, it's literally illegal to sell your fake counterfeit stuff. So it's like, it's not even worth it. At that point, like, it's so much more worth it just to buy the thing. If you have the cash and you just want to, like, save it somewhere, like, that's fine. Obviously, don't spend any money that you don't have, that you can't spend. But if you don't need the money, like, immediately, and you're just looking for, like, different ways to, like, store your money, otherwise, I would get, like, a vintage bag, yeah, or, like, a bag off of somebody else, a secondhand bag, or do a wallet on chain situation. Yeah, only go for old rich guys and not just old guys, and providers, and emotionally intelligent and completely with it. And I know. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Aya. Thanks for the compliment. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me go get my dog while we talk about this. Good boy. Do you want more water? Want more water? Here he is. He just wanted to talk like me. He's so cute. I know, us women allowing emotions to cloud our judgment. That's why we need to date multiple men at once. So then you're like, wow, this other guy would never do that to me. And then you just dump this guy. You gotta be your own manager, like fire him. That's so true. Oh my gosh, girl, you need to get out of there. He served you in the way that he needed to, in the way that you need, but you don't need him anymore, okay? Ew. He told you he's like your daughter? Ew, I'm over him. Please dump him. Go apply to my matchmaking on my website. I'll find you a new guy. Yes, people are auditioning for your show. That's so creepy and strange. That's not a provider man, okay? He's a trick, if anything. They're saying the show is American Idol. You're the show. You're the main character. You're the main casting agent, okay? You're the one deciding who gets to show up in your life. Ditch him. He's done. Okay, so tomorrow I'll talk about the female friendship stuff. I think that's helpful for you guys. Because that really, really, I feel like, applied just now in the chat. Look at how cute he is. Yes, the course works for gay boys too. I'm gonna make it more like feminine energy specific. Like the closed tips, I will also do men as well in the course. Guys should be paying from the beginning outright. Yes, your nails, your hair, makeup. Yeah. What time will I be live tomorrow? Around the same time. I'll probably either 2 or 3. I'll start probably around 3. By 4, I'll probably be chatting. This is a gift from my boyfriend when he was my boyfriend. This dog is $5,000. I was like, I want a dog. And then he was like, okay, which one? And I was like, the most expensive one. And we got him. He's so cute. Yeah, seriously. I'll be on at 3 tomorrow. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time, sorry. Or I'm gonna be posting, I'm gonna start posting the lives and stuff on my YouTube. So you can look me up on YouTube if you don't make it tomorrow. This was filmed for my YouTube, so. How long to wait for marriage? It depends. When you're young, like 2 to 3 years. When you're older, like late 20s, like 6 months to a year. Do men with a lot of money care if you don't make above 100K? Absolutely not. They don't care how much money you make. Just tell him how do you make him take him shopping. Just be like, I want to go shopping next time. Yeah, he should definitely pay. Be like, this is so cute. Don't you think this will look so good on me? I'm gonna go try it on. And then if he doesn't pay, literally you can be like, okay, bye. I'm gonna continue shopping, and then bye. You can be like, bye. I'm gonna continue shopping then. See you later. See you later. So in matchmaking, I'll ask. I ask all the questions like, do you see yourself in more of a like traditional home or like a more balanced home? Are you open to, you know, having kids? What's your religion? Like, what's your lifestyle like? Where'd you go to school? All that stuff. So it doesn't necessarily, I don't vet every single guy to see if they're a provider, but if the client that I'm looking for is looking for a provider, then yes, I will vet them. I will just ask them. Because you guys are too scared to ask. So I'm gonna ask for you, okay? I got you, babe. I'll ask. Then the pressure's off, you know? How do you make it look like you want a provider in a relationship and not just a gold digger? So that's why it's like so good to have ambitions. Then they'll see like you have like a long-term plan and it's not just like a one-off. That's why we were all saying like you need to provide a problem for them to solve rather than just asking for money. Otherwise it's like, okay, just money. They'll be like, why are you asking for just money? Yes, I have a matchmaking service. You can sign up in my, I think it's in my bio. Is it in my bio? I don't know. It's at meetenchante.com. It's on my Instagram for sure. I think it's in my bio. Is it not? I don't know. I think so. It says apply for matchmaking. I would say don't wait to ask men for their money or for them to solve an issue with their money. You want to ask as quickly as possible when you're dating so that he's not surprised later when you're asking for stuff, when you've like built up all this like anticipation. So just ask. Be vulnerable. Ask. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to sign off now. It was so good chatting with you guys. Tomorrow, for sure, you can ask the first day, but that's just you. That's me too. The first day, I'm gonna bring an issue for him to solve. You want to look like a damsel in distress. Tomorrow, we're gonna be talking about female friendships. I will also open it up so you guys can join if you want to and ask questions. This can be my sprinkle, my dog. Provide. Here's my credit card. He's so cute. He's like, take that. Yeah, I'm showing the pup. He only comes on lives. I know, thanks for joining. It was so nice to have you, Eternity. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Follow my IG. Follow me on Insta. I need the love there. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow on TikTok. And I'll post this on YouTube too. I'm going to be posting my lives on YouTube just in case you guys missed it. Yeah. See you guys later. Have a spoiled girl day. Say bye. Bye.